Our non-quarterback MVP candidates: Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Nick Bosa, 4 of the big names mentioned. Shannon, who's your non-quarterback MVP in the league right now?
The last guy that you had on the screen, and I think they're very deserving candidates. You mentioned some, Tyreek, Nick Bosa, my nephew, Kels. But let me explain why I took Justin Jefferson. Because all the reasons that you don't like Kirk Cousins. That's why I took Justin Jefferson. Because he's doing this with that guy that you said he's a, what do you say, he's a underachieving,
under-talented
overachiever.
Yes.
And so when you look at what he's done, okay, and the reason why let me say the reason why, and I hate to say knocked him, but the reason I didn't put Kels over Justin is because Mahomes is number 1 in QBR. He's number 1 in touchdown passes. He's number 1 in passing yards. He's number 1 in total touchdowns. While Cousins is 24th in QBR. He's 6th in TD passes. He's 4th in yards. And we see he's not nearly as talented or plays at the level in which Mahomes does. So if I had to, so that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason is that I ding Kels is because he has Mahomes. Now I wonder what kind of numbers JJ would put up if he had my homeboy throwing to him instead of Cousins. 1,771 receiving yards, 423 yards over yards are expected, 150 more than anybody. Skip, if you look at, there are 2 and 3 when this man has 50 receiving yards or less. They're 10 and 1 when he has 51 or more. So we talk about Cousins all we want to, but their offense really goes as he goes. So that's why I put JJ number 1.
Okay. I hear everything you just said, but I'm looking at your glass as half empty when you talk about your nephew, Kels.
Yeah.
Okay. If I look at what Patrick Mahomes has done this year, it is in large part because of him, because you lost Tyreek, and you say the other guys are just a bunch of guys.
Yes.
And Travis Kelce, I'm looking at these numbers. He's career highs across the board.
Yeah.
And I assume
he'll probably be over 1,400. What did he have?
He's 1,300.
Yeah, I'm saying, but he'll probably end up at 1,400 with the Raiders.
He needs 116 to have career high in yards. That's the only category. But he might get there. They're going to go because they need this game.
We know the Raiders' defense is so suspect.
Okay. So he's going to be career high in targets, in catches, and he's already got a career high in touchdowns.
Right.
He's having a career year in a career.
Right.
Like he is the best pass catch. No offense to you, but
none taken.
Okay.
None taken.
But he lives in an offense that's almost unfair to me because they're going to throw the football.
Yeah.
And when in doubt, Patrick is going to throw it to him.
Throw him the football.
Okay. And even in their losses this year at Indy, Buffalo, Cincinnati, he still had one big game against Buffalo at home. He had 8 for 108, and they barely lost the game. But the point is, Justin Jefferson can be controlled. He can go quiet, sort of when you least expect it, against my Cowboys. So we beat him this year and last year. I know we're not talking about last year, but he had very quiet games. This year it was 40-3 Dallas at Minnesota, and he caught 3 for 33. Well, you say it's a dependent position, so he couldn't depend that day on Kirk Cousins, who mostly was on his back.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, remember earlier this year, was it a Monday night game? I think it was at Philadelphia.
Right.
They lose 24-7, and he was pretty quiet. He caught 6 balls, but for only 43 yards.
Right.
And then, obviously, we just saw what happened because Jair said, nope, not on my watch, not in my house, and he held him to 1 catch for 15 yards and walked his big talk about fluke game.
But if I take Kelsey's 1,300 yards from Patrick Mahomes' 5,000, that's 3,600. If I take his 1,771 from Cousins' 4,300, that's a whole different. That's 2,600.
Okay.
The difference is so vast between the two, is that because I think the difference between Mahomes and Cousins is probably greater no matter what position you want. Obviously, Kelsey's the best tight end in football. Jefferson, he's either 1 or 2. I believe he's the best receiver. Mahomes is not. Cousins is not even in the same book as Mahomes.
Yeah, I get it, but I still say that I thought Patrick would struggle some this year without Tyreek, and he clearly has not. But he still has that guy, your nephew Kels, And when he's in doubt,
Oh, yeah.
he finds nephew.
It's definitely easier playing with a guy, Skip, that you believe that you can put the ball up and he has 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. He can make a play. Either he's going to make the play or they're not going to make the play. That makes the quarterback job a lot easier. Bosa's had an unbelievable season.
No, I give you that.
But I think the thing is, unless you got 22 sacks, something like that, it's hard to give it. Like LT was the last guy to win the MVP for a non-offensive player.
Yeah.
This only happened twice. That's Alan Page did it, and LT did it.
Yeah. I got it. But Kelsey down on the goal line running those little option routes, it's unfair.
Yeah, he's good. And for a man his size, the way he skipped, because they play in such space now, it's really basketball on grass.
Yep.
And because he's so big and he's so fluid, he moves like a man that's 220, 225 pounds, kind of like I was, but he's 255.
He's
so
something.
He's special. He's very special. And he's a sponge. He wants to learn. He wants to know. Hey, he'll hit me up. Hey, what'd you see, Unc? Well, I saw this, and you can do this. And if you do this, do it a little bit more. He's like, hey, I got you. Appreciate it. And I'm watching him. It's like, okay, let me see what did he. Oh, okay. I see. You listen, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So many talented players to choose from. All good choices.
On this, but you get me going on Thomas because I was very close with him, and I love that man.
Hooray for Hollywood.
And he has been through hell and come back.
And he won the lottery.
Yeah, and that Super Bowl 13, he started it off before the game, and it was like Thursday at the media session, and he said of Terry Bradshaw, our Terry Bradshaw, the rival that day for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he said, he can't spell cat if I spotted him the C and the A. What? You're calling out Terry Bradshaw?
So that was the first media day in which you had the back and forth going, and it continued from that point on.
Yeah. And then he wore on the back of his game pants belt a little vial of crack cocaine during the game. And he's imbibing, right? What?
I'm sorry, we went on a tangent, but but I'm just saying that's just the type of players that the Cowboys have had would speak and say it and then go out there and back it up.
Yeah. So I believe that young CD has been emboldened and empowered by the addition of T.Y. Hilton.
Right.
Because T.Y. Hilton is one of those with a real football backbone. He is high IQ. He's a technician of a route runner. And he's salt to the earth as a football player. And CD is in awe of his mentorship. And I thought it was very significant because I'd never heard of this. At the end of the Tennessee game, again, they weren't impressive. CD asked T.Y. for his game jersey.
Right.
Have you ever heard that? Usually it's the other way. You're swapping with somebody on the other team. He wanted his new teammates' game jersey. And by the way, this is about as small a sample size as you can get, but in productivity, T.Y. Hilton is a Dallas Cowboy in 2 games, has caught 5 balls for 102 yards, but 4 of those 5 went for a first down. And one other ball that was disallowed was off the illegal contact on big play Slay on 4th and 8 in the Philly game, early in the Philly game. And would you believe that Pro Football Focus grades him over the 2-game stretch as the #1 receiver in football? I know it's small sample size, but I'm just showing you something is going on here, and I think it's made CD a little stronger, feel a little about himself.
Although I do not agree with the decision to move on from Amari, but you had to in order to let CD flourish. I give you a prime example. They moved on from Jerry so T.O. could assume the role because he was ready.
That's true.
They saw that CD was ready, and he was not going to, because he didn't have that personality that says, I'm that dog. This is my show now. Take her back. That's not who he is. So they said, you know what? We're going to clear the decks for you. It's your show now, bro.
Okay. It is your show, and he's living up. And now he's speaking up to his new role. And I love this. But to your point, okay. You got to go back
do it against Tampa. You know, I spoke that. You know, I know that. You got to go do that against Tampa.
No,
I know.
You know, he actually had a good game two years ago in that Thursday night opener.
He was over 100 yards in that game.
He was big. Yeah. Remember, Jerry tabbed him. Jerry's the one, as he was falling through the first round, Jerry said, I want him.
You better sign up, because old Justin Jefferson looking real